A disempowered soul will become a traumatized or re-traumatized soul and will wittingly or unwittingly pass on the trauma. I know you don't want that. That's why you're here at this video. I want you to think about something that we don't usually think about, and that is neglect of ourselves in 3 realms. So at Joy-Based Living, I call this the Joy-Based Living trifecta. Spiritual connection, peak performance, and healing trauma. There we go. What does neglect mean when it comes to spiritual connection? Do you know how connected you are to a larger field of life that feels like it cares for you, that feels like there's a goodness in the world and you're part of it? If you don't experience that, it can be a form of neglect. Because if you feel alone and alienated in the world, imagine this, since we can't prove a larger force of life, it's really a matter of a choice. And if you think about a little kid, would you rather that kid feel safe enough in the world to do things about what they can? Or do you want them to feel scared? And so one of the ways that we traumatize ourselves is by distancing ourselves from spirituality and not even having the conversation and thinking that that's okay. It's not okay. It's not working. I believe that there's love in our hearts and that love unifies us all. I believe that that's where serendipity comes from, is when we're tuned into that. Intuition comes from being tuned into that. We've all experienced those things. For some of us, that has deeper meaning. So like for me, I like pay attention in that arena. I heard the phrase soul nerd recently, soul nerd. And I'm like, yeah, that would describe me and most of my friends. When it comes to healing trauma, the important thing there is that you don't want to neglect is being really tuned into what you feel on an embodied level. Like people who are really kind will sometimes dismiss what they're feeling and just put other people first. And people who are abusive will, they won't dismiss what they're feeling on a superficial level because they might be like just really demanding or aggressive, but they do dismiss what they're feeling on a level of they won't let themselves feel shame, for example, or sadness or powerlessness. And so when we're not authentic with what we really feel, then we can't be authentic with reaching out and asking for, in a safe way, what we really need. And safety comes from being able to express ourselves in ways that actually help us meet our true needs. And then the third part, here it says peak performance. I've been a coach for 20 years, and so that's kind of like a catchphrase. But what that really means is, what are the yearnings in your heart that you want to express into the world? And is what you're doing enlivening to you? Is it creating a sense of deeper joy and empowerment in your life? And a cause of neglect could be that you do all the things you're supposed to do, but you don't pay attention to what really has deep meaning for what you really want as a unique snowflake in the universe. I envision a world where a lot of people are experiencing the joy of, like, imagine a playful sensation of this, because it can sound narcissistic, and I don't mean it that way, where different people are listening to their hearts and they're trying new things and they're exploring and they're creating, and they're like, hey, look at me. And we look and we're like, wow, that's really cool. Or, hey, I want to join you, or whatever. And then someone else is like, hey, look at me. And then, so like the world feels more like a playground. And for that to happen, we have to be attentive to our spiritual self, to our emotional self, and to our heart's longings and yearnings for full expression and what that looks like for you. And so those are the kinds of conversations that we have at Joy Based Living. And I hope you'll check out the blog. I've written a ton over there about um, healing, being present with yourself. I encourage you to explore your spirituality and make it come alive for you. Like, take responsibility for that. Take responsibility for deciding, here's how I want to view the world. Here's how I'm going to practice that viewpoint. Here's how I'm going to bring it to life. I had one guy tell me, he goes, like it was an insult. He goes, "You really live this stuff." And I was like, we're done. Yeah, there is a huge joy in living this stuff. So thank you for being with me on this journey. It means a lot to have you here. Bye for now.